If you're anything like me, and I'm willing to bet you are, because you're here, you love indie makeup brands. I love them. We all do. It's just fun to support hardworking people and the innovation that comes along with it, the colors, the formulas. It's kind of where it all starts, right? No one does it better than these brands. So I have today 4 different releases from 4 different really exciting independent brands that I wanted to share with you, including, of course, Viseart. You know I love them. We have new releases from Sydney Grace, excited to share. What's Up Beauty, always love them. And Aora Mexico, which I'm brand new to me, and I'm really starting to love them. They're very exciting, and we're going to look at those today with me, Rebecca, on Not Fit for Print Beauty. I am a print journalist that has come over to YouTube. I have reviewed beauty for 25 years or more, and fashion, and I have the ability, okay, I'm not a makeup artist, but I have the ability to let you know how to spend your hard-earned money the right way on makeup. So many of us have so much already in our collections. What should you be buying and what's just hype? Stick with me and subscribe to find out more about that. All right, we're going to try on some of this, talk about it, and of course we're going to swatch it all. Let's start with my friends and hopefully yours, Viseart. Now, all of this was sent over in PR, and yes, all of it I would have bought myself anyway. I always put my money where my mouth is. I own everything, for instance, from Viseart. I just used to buy it all. Now they're kind enough to give it to me, which I consider myself quite lucky to share that with you. This is $48. This is a brand new Viseart palette. It is the Viseart Lisa Says Ga Aqua Bloomingdale's palette. So Aqua is a fashion brand sold exclusively at Bloomingdale's. This palette is sold in conjunction with Bloomingdale's and ViseartParis.com. By the way, I do have 10% off. I'm using my code below. You can get 10% off at Viseart.com. Can't help you on Bloomingdale's, but this is definitely worth the purchase. And Lisa Says Ga is a fashion label, of course. Lisa Says Ga is kind of like wow, you know, so really cool. They carry, Lisa Says Ga carries like independent labels. They have their own in-store label. So they've done this in conjunction and in collaboration with Viseart, and it's very, very cool. Kind of like California cool meets Parisian chic. Look at these colors. $48. So all of these palettes that we're going to look at today, there's none that are better than another, but there's some that might be better for you. Viseart is worth your money if you want reliability, blendability, if you want that pro level finish. Viseart is made for their community of makeup artists, but also home use, and they're beloved by makeup artists. And when makeup artists love a brand, guys, there's a reason for it. First of all, we're going to play with this right now, but let's take this outside into the warm California sunshine. Take a look at these shades, these different finishes. Viseart always does such beautiful blendable mattes, and Viseart has this ability to take colors that most brands would find difficult to formulate. I don't even care if they're a big name brand, and somehow they make them perfect. And they're duochromes and they're shimmers and they're exciting shades, get more exciting every year. They have a small team that works hard developing colors, blendability, and they do it for their community, generally a pro artist community, but all of us benefit from that. So I thought we would play with this today because it is their latest. And you can get it, like I said, using my code, you can get it for 10% off. So let's take some Rephr Brushes, another independent brand. Let's take a number 15 and start here. And I'm going to go onto each of my eyes with this just to kind of lighten the eyes. I'm going to put it into the corner too. This is just kind of covering my eye. These are so beautiful to work with. I got to tell you, I'm really proud. Same brush. Rephr number 15 into this shade here. I'm really proud that many of you have told me in comments, and I think you've told Viseart as well, that I am the one that turned you on to this brand. What would my kids say? Put you on this brand. And if that is the case, I am extremely proud of that because I stand by this brand. I love this brand. Okay, that was kind of the boring setup there. I'm going to do this really quickly. Let's look at some of these shades though. I mean, look at this duochrome. Let's try it. Let's put it on one eye. Now, I don't do looks, you guys, so much as I do just kind of experiment and show you how they work. There's so many channels here on YouTube that are going to show you expertly how to create a look. That's not me. I'm just professionally reviewing this stuff and I have a lot of knowledge. So I'm just applying it like I would quickly at home. Isn't that gorgeous? Just with my limited ability, granted. Let me do another eye a different way. Take that green shade and put that. Some of these, you guys, some of these sparkly shades you can also use quite easily as a blush. Sorry, you're going to have me in different looks throughout the rest of this video. I apologize. I just kind of want to show you the way this works. Look at how beautiful that is. It's foolproof. Their blendability, their beauty. Those of you who try Viseart, I've never had a complaint from anyone. Again, this is for someone, let me just break down who each of these independent brands are for. This is for someone that wants reliability, blendability, that kind of pro level finish and payoff, and you want to feel like you are a part of a thriving, small, but very technically elite community, then this is for you. It performs like other Viseart shades. I've been playing with this off camera, and it is beautiful. Highly recommend. But use my code on viseartparis.com to get 10% off, because why wouldn't you? All right, let's look at some others. Let's talk about Sydney Grace. Now, first thing I have to do, and I do this every time I talk about Sydney Grace, and I'm not calling anyone out, but I just have to say it, because it drives me crazy. Sydney Grace are the two names, Sydney and Grace, of the founder's children. Sydney Grace is not a person. I'm just saying that. I hear so many people go, and again, the lovely people at Sydney Grace, again, small team, really hardworking. They never correct you. They're very modest, but let me just do it for them. The brand is called Sydney Grace after two different people. It is not one person. Although I doubt the founder minds, because when you compliment our kids, you compliment us. But Sydney Grace has two new palettes out. It's been some time, and I'll tell you who these are for too. We have Hot Mess, I'm going to show you them, and we have Perfectly Balanced, and this is Sydney Grace's reference to our very busy lives and how crazy things get. These are $52 each, or you can spend $85 and get the set. They come in light and dark. So they sent me, I'm guessing they sent me the light ones. I'm guessing, right, Sydney Grace? I'm guessing they did. But there's also deep shades, okay? So let me just show you them here. Here's Perfectly Balanced. Here's Hot Mess. I am guessing these are the lighter. That's usually what Sydney Grace sends me. I think I'm right. In fact, I know I'm right. Let's look at these outside in the warm California sunshine. We have Hot Mess over Perfectly Balanced, swatched on my arm. Again, $52 each, or $85 for the set. Who is Sydney Grace for? Well, it's for those of us who love to support ingenuity, of course, and independent brands, but their strength is through their texture and their color payoff. So whereas Viseart takes some time to blend and build, Sydney Grace gets you there right away. Bam! They're for payoff. They're for impact over restraint. They're for those of you who love a good swatch. You want it deep. You want to see the color, and you want to go. And you can still use restraint and use a light hand with Sydney Grace and get beautiful, beautiful results. Their shades are creamy, their shades are impactful, their shades are deep and ready to go, and they are beautiful. They don't smudge, they don't crease, they are reliable, they're like I said, they have ingenuity, but whereas Viseart is slow, blendable, and buildable, Sydney Grace hits you right out of the starting gate with this really thick, beautiful creamy color that rivals those creamy Natasha Denona shades. I would say they're even better. I bet you guys would agree. And you know, we have people here in our community that are such indie makeup fans, and you can weigh down below and share your opinion, because your opinion is just as valid as mine, honestly. All right, let's talk about What's Up Beauty. Okay, this brand, everything's made in Italy. They're so amazing. They started off doing like nail polishes, US based, and just amazing quality. I'm going to tell you who they're for too. But this is the Skyfire eyeshadow palette. And they also have some mascara we'll talk about in a minute. This is $49. Look at how gorgeous this is. And let's take it outside in the warm California sunshine and just keep it moving here. Look at those shades. They are so, again, made in Italy. Beautiful. This is, who's this for? Okay, whereas Sydney Grace has that strength and the texture and the impact, and Viseart is buildable, sheer, and layerable, What's Up Beauty is kind of, to my way of thinking, intentional combinations of shades, beautiful, innovative duochromes, unexpected tones. This isn't necessarily everyday wear unless your life calls for that and you love that kick. This is, to me, special. They're about the ideation and the color story, so there's much more artsy. This isn't, to me, gonna be your everyday palette, but you may correct me if I'm wrong. They perform beautifully, like I said, these Italian-made shades. Let me just show you what we're talking about when we're talking innovative, pretty duochromes. I mean, you're just never gonna find anything like it in traditional bigger makeup brands. And these are beautiful. I also now have a link to What's Up Beauty. All of this will be linked below. I'll let you know where it's affiliated and where it isn't. I'm now affiliated with What's Up Beauty and proud to be. Check out also their Watch Me mascara, which they have in burgundy, brown, and black. Beautiful. I've used it before and they were kind enough to send me some refills. I'm actually going to try the burgundy. Kind of excited about that, but really intentional, artistic, and gorgeous. All right, last but not least in our independent roundup today is Aora Mexico, which is shades made in Mexico. They're very proud to not use any plastic. I'm going to tell you who this is for too, but let me just show you first. Here is the Mírame eyeshadow for $65. Check this out. You can use these as blush as well. Just gorgeous, $65. Like I said, go ahead and use this shade too. Look at this as maybe a cheek shade. Look how pretty that is. Like I said, they are proudly plastic free, proudly made in Mexico, and just gorgeous, gorgeous shadows. We're gonna swatch this too, but I also wanna show you, they were kind enough to send over their Carissime Solid Lip Serum lipstick. I'm wearing the Rosa 4, but there's also Rojo 3. Look at this red shade. Let me put that on. It's like a serum lipstick. Look how easy and smooth. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, let's take this outside. There's also, they gave me the Háblame lip liner and the Adírame Cafe liner for eyeshadow, so that you're gonna see in the swatches too. Let's take a look at those swatches. Beautiful. Let me tell you who it's for, okay? Let me hold this up for you again. Look at this innovation with this palette. And again, no plastics here. These are really flattering, easy, everyday looks. They're a little bit, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to flash the mirror at you. They're a little bit more out there, but they're really easy to wear. So if you like color, but you also want it to be blendable, so you want that kind of ability to be a bit shocking and bold in your makeup, but you want it really easy to use and flattering, this kind of easy, sheer glow. I mean, look at this lipstick I'm wearing. This is a really bright red lipstick, but it's totally wearable and totally easy to use. So it's like no fuss, bright color. Usually, if you're like me, you associate darker or deeper colors with a little bit fussier. You know, like a red lipstick gets a little more technical to apply. I applied this red lipstick. Look at how bold that is, but I did it while talking to you. And it's the same as their shades here. There's a polish and an ease and a wearability while you're still getting bold, bright colors that you would normally associate with being kind of fussy and hard to use. So really, this is something for everybody. This lipstick that I'm wearing is $28. And like I said, there's also eyeliners and lip liners that are gorgeous. Really important work done by these independent brands. They work so hard, such small teams. So just to recap, Aora Mexico is flattering, easy to use, bright colors that are still really user-friendly or pro-friendly if you're a makeup artist. What's Up Beauty is that intentional combos and really interesting, kind of sometimes crazy, unexpected duochromes. I wouldn't say everyday wear, but you might correct me, and we all need those going out palettes. Then, of course, we've got two new ones from Sydney Grace that have their strength and their texture and their payoff right out the gate. Beautiful, creamy, thick shades. And, of course, our friends over at Viseart, which I do have a code to save you 10%. This is, of course, that reliability, that ease of use, that blendability, buildability, and texture with that pro finish. Loved by pro makeup artists. All of these are worth your money and your time. All of these are worth you taking a look at, but they do have specific audiences, so I can love them all as a reviewer, but you probably want to pick the one that's right for you. If you have experience with any of these brands, we would love to hear what you have to say down below in comments. Please, your opinion matters, not just to me, but to our community here. But follow me, you guys, here on YouTube, subscribe, but also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Threads, and Facebook, and join our membership here on YouTube. We meet once a week on Fridays for a live that I lead, and I would love to see you there or on the replay of that. If you are interested, stick with me. I can steer you. I will never steer you wrong, and I will always be incredibly honest, even though this is how I make my living. Your trust is what is most important to me. So follow along with me on the journey. Ask any questions, and I will meet you in the comments below. I'll be sure to see you all in the next video. Yes, Mother's Day and my mother is coming up. You guys have been asking.